Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel and to this video where we are going to discuss how comparison is not only the thief of joy but also a fool's errand. Now before I get into the tangible tips and tricks that I have for you in order to stop comparing yourself to others, I just wanted to touch on quickly about the importance of not comparing yourself to anybody ever, because you do not have a full picture. You know yourself, you have a 380 on yourself. At any given time, hopefully you know not only what's going on in your life with your finances but also what's going on in your head. Now that is something that you do not have when it comes to other people. Even those who are closest to us, let's say a cousin, a sibling, a roommate, okay, you may know the ramification of what's going on in their life, day-to-day life a bit, but you never know what's going on inside their head. And if you watch this channel, you know that I happen to believe that mental wellness is the biggest wealth that anybody could ever possess. And that is in best case scenario, because truth be told, it's more time than not people do not compare themselves to people that they know. More time than not we tend to compare ourselves to celebrities, content creators, and people that we've never seen a day in our lives. And that's very, very dangerous, you guys, because remember that people are only sharing on Instagram the best parts of their lives. There's a reason it's called a highlight reel. Okay, people are not sharing their L's. I mean, do you share your L's? Probably not. People do not take their L's publicly. So anytime that you are on Instagram watching somebody's story and feeling envious because you're comparing their very curated life to yours, you feel bad, and you feel bad about something that isn't even real. Like, let's say for example you see a picture of a couple kissing at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Now what you may not see is that 10 or 15 minutes prior to the picture being taken, perhaps they were arguing. I'm not saying that they were for a fact, but it's a possibility. What you will not see for a fact is the credit card bill. Now again, I'm not saying that they cannot afford it, but still you won't see it. So there are so many things, so many elements that you will not see, and because of that you should not compare yourself to them and feel like, oh, something's wrong with me, I can't afford to go to Paris, da 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 da. Perhaps they can't either. Perhaps they're gonna struggle to pay back that credit card bill or not pay at all. Okay, we don't know that to be true. Again, it could be that they can afford it, but even if they can, like, you do not know how hard, how long they've had to work in order to get there. My grandma used to say always, never compare yourself and envy anyone, because you do not know what they did to get to where they are and whether you'd be willing to do the same. I find this to be very, very true. I was talking to an acquaintance the other day and she was talking about big content creators like Patricia Bright and Jackie Aina, and what she failed to mention as she was comparing 20 views that I got in the last video with Patricia's or Jackie's content is that they've been creating content for 10 years. Now, how fair would I be to myself to compare myself to someone that has been creating content for 10 plus years when I've been creating content for a year, right? It doesn't make any sense. So, before you go and envy people that have something that you desire, ask yourself, have you put in the same amount of work, or would you even be willing to put in the same amount of work? And sometimes it isn't work, sometimes it's other things. Would you be willing to do what people are doing or did in order to get to where they are? So ask yourself all of this. But as a rule of thumb, again, do not go out there and compare yourself to people. I mean, think of the amounts of time we have seen couples that were seemingly extremely happy on the social media landscape, and one day one of them came out and said that the other one was emotionally abusive and a narcissist and da 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 and da da da. It happens all the time. It's happened every day. It's one of the reasons why I refuse to watch couple channels at all nowadays, because I just don't want to be invested for there to be drama 3-4 years down the line. So you don't know what's going on in people's lives, so do not go out there and compare yourself, especially to strangers who post bits and pieces of their lives on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you name it. Okay, now I wanted to give you guys 2 tips. I guess one is a tip and one is more like a reflection that really helped me in this journey of stop comparing myself to others. And the first one is the reflection that whomever you envy envies you. Now I know that it doesn't seem to make much sense to you. Some of you guys be like, girl, Beyonce doesn't even know me. How can she envy me? Well, she does. Actually, there is a character trait, physical attribute, a skill set. There is something that you possess that Beyonce, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, you name it, wish they had, wish they possess. Now, they may not envy it in you, okay, because they do not know you, but they envy it in somebody that they know personally, or perhaps they know nobody that possesses that skill or character trait, but it is one that they wish they had. I really hope that this is making sense to you, because it makes a lot of sense in my mind, right? Nobody has everything, you guys. This is just one thing that, you know, people say God doesn't give everything. Now, whether you believe in God or not, I find that to be true. You know, everybody is lacking in a certain area. It's just part of, I guess, the human experience. Everybody has some form of weaknesses, some form of insecurities. You know, this is just as true for me and for you as it is for Barack Obama and for Beyonce. I can think of, you know, the press tour that Michelle Obama has been going on in the last year to promote her book, The Light We Carry, which is so true. We all carry a light, right? And you know, she's been talking about her marriage a lot, about how she's been a single married mother for 10 years, about how she disliked her husband for 10 years. Who, child, bless her soul, because Lord no, I could not be with somebody that I disliked for 10 good years, okay? But then again, you know, I don't date men who are potentially the future president of anywhere, so oh well. Anyways, you know, that really made me think of how, you know, you really shouldn't judge a situation from the outside looking in. I'm sure that there are so many women, you know, in the hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions, okay, that, you know, saw those viral pictures. I remember them as if it was yesterday, of Michelle, Barack, and Millie and Sasha. I think, you know, one was 10 and one was 8, and it was super cute. They were like 2 super viral pictures back then on Twitter. And then, you know, we all, I guess, envied them at some point. You know, so many women wishes they were Michelle Obama, and what they didn't know is what Michelle just shared recently, is that, you know, most of the time she was alone with the girls, that she had to particularly raise them all by herself. Now, I'm sure that there is several married women out there, or women just in relationship with great men that help them in the house, that help them raise the kids, you know, that were great providers and protectors, who saw back then the pictures of Barack and Michelle and felt some type of way about, like, oh, why is it I can't find a man, you know, like Barack Obama, not knowing that, you know, Michelle Obama herself is wishing, why is it that my man is not at home some more and helping me out with the girls? So this goes to show you what I was telling you before, is that, you know, whomever you envy envies you most likely, and that you should not see the situation from the outside and, you know, make your own, like, jump into conclusion about what's going on in there, because truly you have no idea, and most likely you never will. Now, the second thing I want you to do is to take the envy that comparison brings you to teach you something about yourself. You know, what I've learned is that more time than not, envy teaches us that we can improve. You know, we tend to compare ourselves and envy people in areas of our life where we can do better. I know that, you know, I used to, you know, watching at some point some content creators made me feel some type of way, because deep down inside I knew that I wanted to get into content creation, you know. So ask yourself, if perhaps you watch some fitness influencers and, you know, you feel some type of way, ask yourself if maybe perhaps you're ready to lose the weight, if you're somebody who is overweight. Now, what's going to be important in this process, whether, you know, your goal is to lose the weight, or your goal is to emulate hair influencers, or your goal is to emulate fashion influencers, it doesn't matter, right? What's going to be important here is to understand that, you know, you can only get the best results for you. You can't, like, I don't think that there's anything wrong, for example, with me aspiring to get the hair of, you know, healthy hair, like naturally Temi, but I need to understand that, you know, I won't get naturally Temi's hair. I can only get Manetta's hair, like the most healthy version of Manetta's hair. And that's so important. Like, if you're going to take you know, inspiration from fitness influencer. For example, you know, if you are 1.60 m, you do not want to pick somebody who is, you know, 5'11" with endless legs to die for, because no matter how much weight you lose and no matter how much you work out, you know, you are not going to look like them, and that's only going to make you feel worse about yourself because you do not have similar body composition. So, you know, pay attention to whomever it is you use as an inspiration. So I guess in closing, I just wanted to remind you that whomever you envy you, that's number one. And second of all, you know, if you find yourself often comparing yourself and being, you know, envious of a similar group of people, whether they are hairdressers, whether they do nails, lashes, whether they are, you know, content creators, actresses, or singer, that is the universe, you know, trying to tell you something, trying to tell you that perhaps you also are gifted in this area, perhaps it's something that you also, you know, can and will want to do. So, you know, try to journal about it, meditate on it, talk to your therapist about it or something like that. And yeah, if you found this video helpful, I certainly hope that you did. Do not forget to give it a thumbs up in the comment section down below. Let me know, you know, what are your thoughts? Do you think that comparison is the thief of joy, or do you think that sometimes it does help us get motivated to, you know, get stuff done? Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and I will talk to you guys on Thursday. Bye guys. Mwah.